Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a weekly love reading for November 27th. It's a general collective reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I don't know about you guys. I feel like it's just this time of year, but also with Thanksgiving coming up here in the US, I'm feeling like a lot of gratitude energy. So I wonder if we will be tapping into that. As I'm shuffling the cards, I'm just thinking like, wow, I'm so thankful for this and I'm so thankful for that. And the thoughts are kind of just shooting off in my mind like fireworks. It's pretty. All right, God, what do you want to say to this collective here for their love journey this week? King of Wands, nice. I pulled him in the Mercury retrograde reading from the other day. I don't know, such like a steamy energy. I love him. I feel like a lot of strength and power here. I mean, in terms of a love reading, this like gender to me, whatever, it's just the gender in the cards. But if we're going to go by that, it symbolizes a divine masculine, right? A divine masculine energy. The King of Wands, he's like very fiery. He's very passionate. He's very creative. He's intuitive. He's in the flow. He's really like driven and determined. There's a lot of willpower in that card. There can also be a fair amount of ego energy with the wand suit. So yeah, I feel like his good qualities for me are like outweighing his bad qualities. You know what I'm drawn to? This is stars. This is the Star Tarot deck. So these are stars that are adorning the lions, but they actually are feeling to me like snow. And I feel like I'm really attracted to this energy of him as being like very warm and fiery and passionate and sort of like melting away the snow. It's like a really cozy energy with this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere where we're moving into like the colder time of the year. It's nice. It feels like cozy and toasty and like his passion's kind of keeping you warm. So you have the 10 of Cups, the Hierophant, and the 3 of Pentacles. I'm just feeling those for a minute. With 10 of Cups, I love this. It's such like a sweet card in all of the decks, but I just love this deck anyways. The colors and the pictures are so beautiful. Being surrounded by like this rainbow to me feels like wishes come true. I'm drawn to the fish popping out of the cup. It reminds me of the Page of Cups in the traditional tarot, kind of offering that, but just that sweetness, that community, that family feeling, right? That feeling of togetherness, the dream that you're having. I'm feeling like this rainbow, like encircling this picture, is reminding me of like a mirror. I'm seeing like an old-fashioned vanity mirror that would be on top of like a vanity desk or like a dresser. So I feel like this is sort of you like looking into your future or looking into your dream or looking into the life that you want. It could be that this King of Wands is already like a romantic partnership in your life. Or it could be that this is kind of what you're like calling in, right? Like what you're looking for. The Hierophant feels very much to me like you going on the spiritual journey in order to make this come true, right? So let me think of how to say this. Like I've talked about this before. The earth is a school, right? Our lives are a manifestation journey. And sometimes that can be a little tough to face because sometimes we manifest things that are difficult, right? Or upsetting. I know in my personal background, I have some experience with trauma, and it's difficult to kind of face that. That's what we are here to heal, right? Nobody wants to call in like bad things happening to them. But there's a degree here of recognizing like, yes, those things happen to me. And also I have the power to create my own reality. I have the power to heal from that, to shift from that, to never manifest that sort of energy or situation ever again. So I feel that like I'm drawn to the sort of cosmos, like channeling down through this figure's crown chakra, and even the rainbows on the cloak sort of being like this beautiful rainbow, being surrounded by those dreams, by those magic, by those hopes and by that magic. And he's kind of creating this little star here. I feel like this is you being almost like a magician energy where you're in that place of power. You're in that place of like a really deeply spiritual place, right? Of maybe studying a religion or a spiritual practice or something like that. And really, really connecting with God, the universe, source, with your highest self, and being able to channel that magic into your everyday real life in order to make these dreams come true. It's beautiful, right? So in terms of like manifestation, let me think of how to say this. Let's say that there's a person who's in like a poverty mindset. This is something that I personally am still healing, right? So that constant feeling of not having enough, and you could be the wealthiest person on the planet and still have that feeling of not having enough, or that feeling of sort of like living in poverty. If you don't do the healing work to actually heal that mindset and to bring some love and logic into that place within you, your vibration will continue to attract people, experiences, situations where you're being exposed again and again and again to that poverty mindset as a way of healing it, right? Another example would be like narcissism. I feel like someone had commented on my one of my posts the other day that they're surrounded by narcissists. And my comment was like, well, maybe that's an opportunity to take a look at why that's an energy that keeps manifesting in your life, right? And that does not mean that you yourself are a narcissist. That's not what I'm saying. But there's something about your consciousness, your beliefs, right? Maybe your upbringing, the environment that shaped you as a child. Like, it's never about finger pointing or saying that it's your fault or anything like that. But we're all exposed to so many different sources of information: TV shows, relatives, our parents, things from school, right? Friendships, being over at friends' houses and things that their parents say and do, our romantic relationships, right? All of those things come together and start to shape our worldview, right? And how we see the world. And it's never a fault or finger pointing or anything like that, but it can be really empowering to recognize, like, wow, I keep manifesting this pattern of attracting narcissists, or wow, I keep manifesting this pattern of poverty. That can be really empowering. And I feel like that's you kind of having that moment and saying, like, I don't want to manifest that anymore, right? I want to manifest my dreams come true. I want to manifest my heaven on earth. And recognizing that you have the power to do that. That's like a beautiful energy. This Three of Pentacles, I love it. I'm feeling the energy again of pregnancy. It's funny, I keep channeling that lately. Where this figure here is sort of like protecting this nest, these eggs. So it's like you have these dreams, right? You have maybe the dream of this relationship with this warm, passionate, charismatic person, right? You have this dream that you're kind of seeing in the future of like what you want your family to look like, what that peace and that joy will look like. And you sort of have these dreams in this little nest. And I'm feeling the stars again as snow. It's a funny energy. I feel like she's a tree and her head is above ground and she's protecting this nest like under the ground to protect it from the cold and to keep those dreams safe. So it's like an incubation energy where the Three of Pentacles is really a card of like partnership and apprenticeship. And I feel like, again, that's you in whatever this spiritual practice that you're in. I don't necessarily feel like you're doing it alone. You might be apprenticing under someone or studying with like a study group, like a Bible group, or maybe going to classes or something like that, right? Like I used to take shamanic herbalism classes, and that was like a cool kind of spiritual cohort that I had as a support. So I'm feeling that you have like a support system here within your spirituality that's really kind of teaching you and supporting you in making your dreams come true. And that those dreams are like precious and kind of coddled and wrapped up and like protected while you're doing this good work. I'm feeling also like spirit helpers are involved here. So asking your angels, guides, guardians, ancestors. I know a lot of times my ancestors like to help me with some of the family patterns that I've healed. So it's safe to like call that support in, right? And allow your spirit helpers really to help protect your dreams with you. It's beautiful. Five of Wands, Four of Cups, and Knight of Wands. Yeah, I mean, speaking of protecting the dreams, look at this person is really protecting those beautiful lilies in their arms while they're sort of surrounded by in this card it's a volcano erupting, right? The 5 of Wands can be like it almost feels like passion misdirected, where I love the volcano erupting. That's such a good metaphor for this energy. It feels like that clashy, clangy kind of ego energy to me, where there's like a bit of chaos. It's like that passion doesn't have anywhere to go. So it's like erupting in negative ways. So this would be like, oh, I don't know how to say this in a PG way. My teachers talk about releasing some of that relationship energy in like intimate ways rather than fighting. And that's kind of what this feels like. Like, make sure it doesn't have to be physical intimacy, although that certainly is a way to do it. But sometimes you can release that passion through creativity, right? It's creation energy. So making sure that you have a way to channel this passionate energy either in your partnership, in your connection, or just within yourself, right? Because there is this feeling to me that you are protecting and like nursing and nurturing something really precious, a really precious piece of yourself that's just starting to develop or like come into its own. I'm really drawn to that with that nest and those lilies kind of being like cradled in their arms. This is very beautiful. It's cool. It feels like incubation. Like we used to go to the fair when I grew up, and they'd have like the heat lights on and like the little baby chicks would all hatch from the eggs or whatever. Like that's what I'm channeling here. And then they're so precious and you'd be like protecting them. The 4 of Cups is that card that I read as apathy. And I feel like this is no exception. Although I do feel like there's also an air of depression here. I mean, you could kind of be in this space. So I don't usually disclose something as personal as healing abuse, right? That was like a pretty deep thing to say. And I feel like that's part of this energy. Like, yeah, if you're in this collective and that resonates for you, you could be here. I know that I was before I started doing a lot of my healing and my spiritual work, which thankfully has really set me free from a lot of that energy. But if this is a place where you haven't really done a lot of healing yet, yeah, this is certainly like a good depiction of what that feels like. Just that grayness, and she's sort of almost like trapped in the water, which represents the emotions, right? So to me, it's those sad emotions, right? It's the emotions that make her feel like she's trapped and heavy, and just sort of a dreariness to that energy. It's interesting. So what I really like about this bottom row is that the Knight of Wands is here at the end. This energy in this particular reading feels like a huge breakthrough to me. It has the same warm feeling as this King of Wands, where I feel like it's like it's snowing out and I'm camping and I have a campfire and all I want to do is like snuggle up as close to the campfire as possible, right? And how cozy it feels and how warm it is, and it's like light and bright against the darkness of the night, right? That was a little poem that I just made up. But I get that same feeling from here. It's this cozy warmth sort of sweeping in, right? I feel like he's just bringing that passion and warmth and like this blazing joy and optimism and sunlight. This is one of the most positive reads I've actually ever gotten on the Knight of Wands. This energy is reminding me a lot of the Sun card. And even having that symbol up here, it's beautiful. Blazing into this place where maybe you're a little stuck in ego, where maybe you're a little stuck in like some depression or sadness, and he's just blazing in and lighting it up with this optimism and this brilliance and this success, being able to clearly see things, right? I feel like these patterns that you're healing, you're going to get so much clarity from the spiritual work that you're doing. that it's like I was going to say you're going to heal them, but it's almost like they just melt away. I keep feeling that ice and snow feeling, and I feel like this sunny blazing in energy is just no match for whatever those upsets and hurts are. It's just going to melt them away. It's beautiful. And I feel like it's an energy for you to surrender to. So, I talk about how you have free will. All of us have free will. So God, the universe, source energy is never going to force healing on you. So this is not like God shining some uncomfortable spotlight down on you and then you're just sort of like stuck dealing with it, right? It's this beautiful energy of the sun coming in at springtime and just melting away the rest of the snow, right? And you just want to sit there with the sun warm on your skin and like turn your face up to the light and just sort of soak it in. That's the feeling that I'm getting from this. It's beautiful. This is really beautiful. I feel like whoever this King of Wands energy is, it could be a specific person. It could be someone related to your spiritual teachings. So like an elder in your community or, a good friend that you have. It could just be an energy that is kind of in the atmosphere, in the air that you're channeling. But that energy is very supportive and very warm and beautiful. What an awesome reading that is. Okay. I feel like very distracted because I just want to sit here with that. Sometimes I get kind of like a feeling of like a main card that all the other cards are sort of revolving around. This Hierophant for me is the main card here. I really feel like he's the center and everything else is coming off of him, almost like spokes from a wheel. I feel these two linked together. I feel the two Wands cards very much linked together. And then, like I said, the Five of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. It's really cool. Oop. All right, so this side is the advice side. Well, first of all, we have the Fool. I love that Fool. Look at him with a beautiful starlight. This is really funny. So there's like an alligator or a crocodile in here, and I just heard that expression, like, see you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. I don't know if that will mean anything to anybody, but that just totally stuck out to me. So the Fool card is all about taking a leap of faith, taking a risk, right? Traveling lightly, being willing to sort of release your concerns, your burdens. I feel like that's very much related to what I was saying about this energy down here, where it's not that God is like forcing healing upon you. It feels like you making the choice to surrender to that healing and then allowing it to come in, to kind of sink into your soul, right? With the warmness of that sunlight. The Fool feels related to the Hierophant card to me, again, because of this sort of celestial, like, beaming down on his crown chakra. Just really being open to your intuition, to that higher guidance, that higher wisdom, being willing to communicate with God, with Source, with angels, whatever resonates for you. Really being willing to sort of follow their guidance and follow your intuition down the path of your healing. It's beautiful. It feels like an energy of like going with the flow. Wow. Okay. This is really lovely. So I'm going to turn these over so they don't distract me here. The Four of Wands and the Two of Cups is like the hugest. This is totally a romance reading. We got a good one this time. The Four of Wands and the Two of Cups so screams twin flames to me. I just can't even not say that. And so does the Hierophant, actually. This whole time I've been thinking like, wow, this really feels like twin flame work, right? Where you're on your spiritual journey and at some point you become, I don't know, you just have so much love inside of yourself. It's like it tips a scale and the universe can't help but respond by sending in your twin flame, which is your ultimate lover. The Four of Wands and the Two of Cups very much speaks of coming together as a union with your divine partner. It's just beautiful, that energy kind of coming together. It's that feeling of surrender again that I was getting from the Fool. It's just like completely surrendering whatever worries you have, whatever arguments you think you have against love, all of the blocks of feeling unworthy and feeling like it'll never happen, having doubts, like I just feel all of that stuff melting away under the power of love. Like that's really what this warm, brilliant energy of the wands feels like to me, is just that sun, that warmth, that love, just completely melting away everything that stands in the way of it, and just surrendering to letting it flow. It feels so nice. I feel that in my heart like so much. It feels so lovely. The Seven of Wands, to me, I love it in this deck. The imagery in this tarot deck is so beautiful, but this sort of roaring lion and the sunlight, again, it's that theme with these wands cards of the sun. I feel like that's you kind of coming into your own fierceness and your own power. And again, like on the twin flame journey, that's exactly the type of energy that is so magnetic to your twin flame, is like your authentic self, you being you in your power. And like one of the I guess messages or lessons that has been important for me is that it's never about being perfect. So with kind of like soulmate relationships, right? I feel that there's some pressure to be perfect, right? You kind of have to show up a certain way, act a certain way, and that's kind of what like makes that person like you, right? Or at least that's how it always was for me. But with twin flames, you get to just be yourself. And that doesn't mean you don't try. It doesn't mean you can show up as your worst self or something. Like, I don't think you'd want to do that anyways. The person in this reading feels pretty high vibration, but it just means fiercely owning who you are. So if you're stubborn, you own that, right? And you know that about yourself. And it doesn't mean you think it's cool to bulldoze over other people's needs or opinions or anything like that, but that you can say to yourself, like, yeah, I see that pattern. I'm being stubborn right now, right? If you're shy or scared, being able to say, wow, I feel really scared about this right now. Just being able to be honest with yourself about who you are, where you're at in your healing, what your patterns are. You can do this in conjunction with a partner. If you are in a partnership, you can do it with God. You can just do it with yourself, right? For me, I often do that, like, oh, I'm having that pattern again. And sometimes it feels really vulnerable to kind of call yourself out. But I feel like this is the power, the energy that you're stepping into, is really being able to embrace that. I mean, even the lion, it has his mouth open. I just said calling out, and that's kind of what he's doing. That's where your power comes from, right? Is like ego likes to come into the places where you feel self-conscious or there's things about yourself that you don't really like. And those are like the sneaky little cracks that ego like seeps in through, right? But if you are able to shine a light on those places and not be ashamed of them, but just accept them. Right now on my healing journey, I have a lot of, I have a lot of stubbornness. I have a lot of resistance. I have a lot of shyness. I have a lot of addiction, obsession, like whatever the energy is, being able to shine a light on that. It's like it takes the power away from it. It kind of exposes it, right? And makes it small. So ego can't sneak into a place that you're already blazingly like owning, right? I love that. And I feel like the next step is just to continue healing that, right? So like I certainly would not accept, okay, cool, I have an addiction. Now I admitted it and it's fine. Like, no, that's one of the steps, right? And then continuing to kind of go there and heal yourself there through your spiritual work. But this is I feel that's a huge next step for you, is being able to shine that light on the places where you're ashamed within yourself. We have the Knight of Cups, the Tower, and the High Priestess. Yeah, this feels like a big change to me. It's interesting to get the Tower. It's reminding me of this Five of Wands visually. Do you see how it's like a volcano in both of them? It's like the same volcano, except this one has the figure in front of it, and this one is kind of empty. I'm also drawn to the lightning bolt. I was drawn to that on the bear's forehead. I didn't point it out, but the little bear has a lightning bolt on his forehead in this one. I feel Let me feel this for a minute, because this whole reading to me has felt like you doing this work over a period of time. Kind of just putting one foot in front of the other, going deeper into your spiritual studies, doing whatever your practice is every day. But the Tower card is a sudden energy, and actually so is the Four of Wands. It's kind of a card of like a quick, joyful surprise. So there could be something coming in here that's a surprise for you. I wonder, there's definitely an energy here of like a breakthrough. Kind of heralded by this Knight of Wands. He's kind of like the hero of this reading. Like, I don't know if you want to kind of take a screenshot of that or kind of just look at it to have it in your mind's eye. He's a very heroic energy in this reading because he's helping you heal these blocks from the Five of Wands and the Four of Cups. So I can feel that. There's an energy of like I was saying in the springtime, it's like all of a sudden one day the sun just comes out and melts away the snow and you're kind of like, oh, okay, where'd the snow go, right? And it's like you were used to having the snow. You were used to having this kind of attack energy. You were used to having this depression energy in your consciousness and in your experience. And then all of a sudden it's just like gone. It's like I feel like these two cards going and like being blown away by the wind or something, right? And you're like, oh, where did it go? And it's not necessarily that you miss it. It's just that you're used to having that energy around. So it's almost, I feel like it takes you by surprise just in learning how to live, how to accept your existence without that energy in it. I'm even drawn to the little dove down here. I feel like that's exactly what it is this sudden warming, this sudden surrendering and melting away of these energies makes you so peaceful. And it's almost like the peace is like a little bit shocking and you're almost like kind of not sure what to do with it. I feel like I channeled something like that in one of the recent readings where I was like, you almost would be speechless, right? And you'd be like, hey, what? Like, what? I don't know how to function in a space of peace. I can relate to that. Like when you're on a spiritual journey and you're really deliberately moving forward down your ascension path, sometimes it can be a lot to adjust to peace, which feels like weird, right? Like everyone wants peace and love, but it's almost like you're used to living without it and it feels weird to live with it. So again, I'm just feeling that energy of surrender. Like keep taking that leap of faith with the divine that's represented by the Fool. You have this such a beautiful divine union coming into. I can't believe the Four of Wands and the Two of Cups came together like that. That's so beautiful. The Knight of Cups, especially in light of that kind of fiery and like sudden energy, it feels like he's coming in with this like soothing, like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a balm or like elixir is the word that's coming to me. This like soothing elixir. This energy is so smooth and sweet and gentle and full of like absolute compassion and love. And I feel like I just keep seeing a figure like in a bathtub, a little bit, I don't know how to say this, like a little bit ravaged by some of this energy and just like the rawness of that healing. Maybe that's a good word. I don't feel like the universe is doing something bad to you. I feel like whatever you're healing has already happened to you. It feels very much like healing something that happened in the past. But going into that place and feeling your feelings about it, it's very raw. So I feel like this Knight of Cups is coming in with just this soothing energy that he's going to like pour into this bathtub that you can just like soak in, right? And kind of soak in all of that beautiful love, all of that gentleness, the compassion, the peace, like all of the sweet, wonderful things that card represents. This is another place where I feel like you can ask for help from angels, from God, your ancestors, right? And just say like, fill me up with that peace and fill me up with that love. I feel that the High Priestess is related to that in a way where it's really you going within to like some deep inner places of you. Again, it's one of those cards I'm channeling where it's like deep. It's like that deep, deep, deep energy. But it feels related to me to this Seven of Wands and also the Hierophant, where it's like a power up card, like a level up card, like and again, whether you're feminine or masculine in real life, it doesn't matter. It's just the gender on the card. But really feeling that like you basically coming into goddess mode in a huge way. And I'm trying to think of how to say this. So the Empress is one of like the goddess cards to me of the tarot, and she's lovely. She's very earth-based. I feel like this is like the deepest, most soulful, like spiritual energy. So it's really not even necessarily earth-based. It's like you coming into complete power and oneness with like the depths of your soul. Through this healing that you're doing. It's like so beautiful. And I feel like that authenticity and that connection just radiates. I keep seeing like, oh gosh, I don't know, like in the movies when there's an explosion or whatever, right? And it just sort of ripples outwards. Like I'm seeing that this power and this complete union that you have within yourself just ripples outwards into like every area of your life, including bringing in this beautiful divine connection, including you having this incredible authenticity, right? You having this soothed, gentle energy kind of helping you to heal. It's really beautiful. What an awesome reading. I'm feeling called to say if you don't have like a spiritual practice or a spiritual community, it might be time to check something like that out if that resonates for you. There are so many spiritual coaches online. There's churches that you can join, like whatever your personal spiritual beliefs are. Find something that's funny. Find something that aligns with you, right? And if you feel like that resonates and you are interested in finding a spiritual community, that might just be supportive for you on your journey. So we have 2-2, Voyager's Journey, past life healing. I like that. I was saying I feel like whatever this is that you're healing is something that has happened in the past. It could be past lives for sure. I do feel like if you're in this collective, you might have some trauma in your past or at least some significant heartbreak. Doesn't have to be trauma. It could just be, you know, the first person who ever broke your heart, right? And you have a hard time trusting. That could be this energy for sure. Do you have any other messages for this collective? This guy wants to come out. Increase your frequency, higher conscious awareness. Yeah, this is definitely a huge glow up energy. Like if you're in this collective, you are absolutely a very powerful individual on your ascension path. Like that is very clear to me. This higher conscious awareness is reminding me a lot of this High Priestess card where it's you just in like complete God mode or goddess mode, absolutely connecting with like your higher self in such a way. It almost it's reminding me of plugging in like a Christmas tree or Christmas lights and how all of a sudden it's just like illuminated. Like that's the level of glow up that's happening here. It's really beautiful. And we have 4-4 transformation, battle of the head versus the heart. I feel like that is relating to me to this row right here, where I feel like that 5 of Wands and 4 of Cups. Again, like I said, it's kind of just an energy that if you're in this collective, you might just think that that's normal. And then this beautiful warmth comes in and kind of melts that away. And there's almost like a battle with ego that you might have to set some boundaries there to say that you choose to let that go, right? You choose to let that be healed and kind of flow away and be in the past. Because like I said, you might just not know, you might just not understand how to live in this place of peace just because you haven't had that peace before. And that's okay. And I feel like for me, it's as simple as just saying, I choose peace. I choose to live in this peace and I choose to allow myself to be healed. This is really beautiful energy. Really, really beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me here today, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.